Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Fatina Zifar, metric number is 301322. My study title is China Construction Bank in Analysis of Return on Asset. This research focus on identifying the determinant of bank performance using ROA, which is a key indicator of profitability. The study examined China Construction Bank, one of the largest state-owned banks in China, over a 10 years period from 2015 to 2024. Next, I will present about company background. CCB was established in 1954 and originally known as People Construction Bank of China. China Construction Bank is one of the largest state-owned commercial banks in China and the headquarters in Beijing. The bank was publicly listed on Hong Kong Stock Exchange in 2005 and the Shanghai Stock Exchange in 2007. It provides a wide range of corporate, retail, and investment banking service and operates more than 30 countries with total assets exceeding USD 5 trillion. The main issue addressed in this study is the declining and volatile ROA of China Construction Bank despite its strong market position and large asset base. This decline may be caused by inefficient asset utilization, governing challenges such as state dominance, and weak board independence, as well as rising credit, macroeconomic uncertainty, and regulatory pressure. Therefore, in research objective, this study aimed to find the ROA and determinant in the China Construction Bank. The objective of this study are first, to determine the impact of firm-specific factors on China Construction Bank's performance. Second, to investigate the impact of macroeconomic factors on China Construction Bank performance. And the third, to identify the impact of firm-specific factors and macroeconomic factors on China Construction Bank performance. In addition, the research questions of this study are: first, does the impact of firm-specific factors affect China Construction Bank performance? Second, does the impact of macroeconomic factors affect China Construction Bank performance? And the last question is, does the impact of firm-specific factors and macroeconomics affect China Construction Bank performance? In literature review, there are 4 main areas of this study. The first one is credit risk, the main focus of this study because borrower default has a direct impact on bank profitability. It is measured using leverage, risk-weighted asset, loan loss provision, and risky sector loan, which represent potential loan losses and reduction in bank capital. Second is liquidity risk. For internal factor, liquidity risk refer to bank inability to meet short-term obligation. It is measured using liquidity ratio and deposit total asset ratio, which indicate how easily a bank can convert asset to cash. And third, financial risk. For internal factor, financial risk result from a bank depend on borrower fund. It is measured using debt to equity ratio and equity multiplier. And higher value indicate greater leverage and increased exposure to solvency risk. Lastly is regulatory risk. For external factor, these risks arise from rules imposed by authorities. Banks are required to meet capital adequacy requirement and failure to comply may lead to sanction, operational restriction, and loss of public confidence, which can negatively affect bank stability. This study focused solely on China Construction Bank. The data covered 10 years period from 2015 to 2024, with 10 annual observations obtained from annual report and official database. In terms of methodology, the study used ordinary least square (OLS) and multiple linear regression analysis conducted using SPSS version 29. Three regression models are developed to align with the research objective. First model, to examine the effect of firm-specific internal factor on ROA. The second model is to investigate the impact of macroeconomic external factor on ROA. And the third model is combine both internal and external factor to examine their joint effect on ROA. Each model directly corresponds to one research objective. For descriptive statistics, the mean ROA of 0.0102 with standard deviation of 0.0013 indicates that over the 10 years period of CCB generate an average profit of 1.02% from its total asset, reflecting consistent but moderate profitability. The relative low standard deviation suggests that ROA remains stable over time, with only small fluctuation imply that the bank was able to maintain steady asset utilization and effect performance management throughout the period. Table, the result indicates significant positive and strong correlation between ROE and the dependent variable ROA, when R equal to 0.950 and P equal to 0 suggests that higher return on equity is close associated with better performance, as increase in profitability from shareholder equity lead to stronger financial outcome. In contrast, firm size show a significant negative strong correlation when R equal to negative 0.978 and P equal to 0, indicate that larger firm size is associated with lower performance, possible due to higher operational complexity and increased cost or inefficient that arise as firm expand. Furthermore, for model summary part under model 1, the adjusted R square is 0.579, meaning 57.9% of the variation in ROA can be explained by internal factor. Although the model is not statistically significant, it shows a moderate explanatory power. For the second model, the adjusted R square is 0.504, meaning the 50.4% of the variation in ROA is explained by macroeconomic factors. This shows a moderate level of explanatory power but weaker than model 1 and model 3. For the third model, the adjusted R square is 0.627, meaning 62.7% of ROA variation is explained by the combined internal and external factors. This makes model 3 the most powerful model in explaining the dependent variable compared to model 1 and model 2. After that, under ANOVA table for model 1, the ANOVA results show that the model is not statistically significant, with p-value of 0.193, which greater than 0.05. This indicates that the internal factor as a group do not significantly explain variation in ROA. For model 2, the ANOVA showed a p-value of 0.239, which also greater than 0.05. This indicates that the external factor do not significantly explain ROA too. The ANOVA result for model 3 show a p-value of 0.261, which indicate that the combined model is not statistically significant. Moreover, in coefficient table for model 1, none of the internal variables are statistically significant. However, LLP and MGT show a negative influence on ROA, implying that higher loan loss provision and weaker management efficiency reduce profitability. CR and RWA show a positive but weak influence, suggesting that better liquidity and asset allocation may support ROA. For model 2, all external variables are statistically insignificant. However, GDP and inflation have positive coefficient, suggests that economic growth may improve bank profitability. Political stability and government effectiveness show negative coefficient, reflecting an institutional and policy constraint may limit ROA growth. For model 3, although no variable is statistically significant, credit risk and leverage related variables show a negative influence on ROA, indicating that excessive risk taking and debt exposure reduce asset profitability. GDP and regulatory capital recap show positive coefficient, suggests that economic growth and strong capital buffers support ROA. The findings show that either internal or external factors individually have statistically significant impact on ROA. However, the combined internal and external model provide the strongest explanatory power. This indicates that the performance of China Construction Bank is mainly influenced by long-term governance structure, state ownership, and policy-driven lending rather than short-term financial or macroeconomic changes. Based on this finding, the recommendation for China Construction Bank is to strengthen its credit risk management to reduce non-performing loans. The bank should also avoid excessive reliance on leverage and maintain a balanced capital structure. Furthermore, governance practice should be improved through stronger board independence and enhanced transparency. For future research, it is recommended to include more banks use longer time periods and apply advanced methods such as panel data or nonlinear models. That's all. Thank you.